internet! So, welcome to this story video, which is what I'm gonna call it for now, because I cannot come up with titles. So if anyone out there is good at titles for things, let me know. You might be asking yourself, what is this that I am watching, and what is it for? Well, what it is a YouTube video, and what it's for is for telling stories on who doesn't like fairy tales. Sad people. Sad people don't like fairy tales. I thought I heard a bear, but I think it was my neighbor's car. We have bears here. There are also a lot of bears in fairy tales. There's the 3 bears, the king's son goes bear hunting, Taylor and the bear, the faithful beasts. Yeah, lots of bear stories. But I'm not telling a bear story today. Today, I am going to tell you, the people of the internet, the story of the toads and diamonds, or the diamonds and the toads. Once upon a time, in a land far, far away, probably France, there lived a woman with 2 daughters. This woman was a total bitch. Seriously, she was a terrible human being. Just awful. And her eldest daughter was exactly like her. They were 2 peas in a disgusting, slimy, rotten pot. But the youngest daughter was just the nicest person you could ever hope to meet. Now you may be asking yourself, wait a minute, where's the dad? Well, that is a good question. They say he's dead. But, I mean, come on. His wife is a monster, his eldest daughter is a wretched brat, and his youngest daughter is an idiot with a murder complex. So, they say he's dead, but is he really? Is he really dead? In my opinion, he probably went out to buy some milk and just never came back. So, these 3 people live together in a house on the edge of a village, in a magical kingdom. And Mom and Evil Sister get along great. I mean, they are totally best friends forever. Only they're terrible people. So they would probably say, toads BFFs, because that's how terrible people talk. And they make Good Sister slave away for them. She is working her fingers to the bone every single day of her life. It's crazy. And if she doesn't do it, Mom just hits her, because in this universe, in this far, far away land, child abuse is a legitimate parenting method. Every single day, Good Sister goes out to the well in the woods, because that's where the well is, in the woods, where no one can get it, unless they walk a really long way. In the version of the story I have, it says she has a pitcher, but that's stupid, because a pitcher of water is not enough for 3 people to do anything with it. So I'm gonna say she has 2 giant-ass buckets and is just super strong. On this fateful day, Good Sister took her buckets, dragged them out to the well in the middle of the woods, and was filling them up when all of a sudden an old woman came out of nowhere. Oh, I'm just a little old lady. See my cane? It proves that I am nothing more than a little old lady. I'm so thirsty. May I have a sip of that water? And Good Sister says, sure. Poof! The old woman turns into a fairy. Wow, you're kind and beautiful. Oh my God, a fairy! Ah! That's right, sweet cheeks. I'm a fucking fairy. And you let me have a sip of that water that you are pouring into buckets, even though the well is right there and I could have easily gotten some for myself. But you see, that was a test, and you passed. So from now on, whenever you talk, diamonds and flowers are just gonna come pouring out of your mouth. And poof, the fairy is gone. So the Good Sister picks up her buckets, carries them back home, And when she gets there, Mom is pissed because she took a really, really long time.
What took you so long?
Sorry.
Oh my God!
Before long, the mother had the whole story out of the good sister, and she was also super rich because of all the diamonds that were coming out of the good sister's mouth, and the house smelled great because of all the flowers that were coming out of her mouth. Everything about this was awesome because this is awesome. So Mom got together with Evil Sister and they hatched up a plan.
Evil sister, you have got to get in on this.
No, thank you.
Now!
But Mom!
Now!
Resigned to her fate, Evil Sister carried one of the buckets out to the well in the woods and waited. Before long, a very fancy lady stepped out from between the trees.
Gentle maiden, wouldst thou pour me some water?
The well's right there. Help yourself.
How dare you! OMG! A fairy! That's right, bitch! I'm a fucking fairy, and you are gonna pay for being rude to me. From now on, whenever you open your mouth, the most vile creatures will come spilling out.
The Evil Sister ran home crying. She was so upset that she forgot the bucket at the well, so the fairy stole it, and from then on, got her own water.
So how'd it go?
Mom blamed Good Sister for what had happened to Evil Sister, and started to beat her. So Good Sister was forced to flee from the house, and she collapsed in a nearby flower field, crying in misery. At that very moment, a prince was riding by on his horse, and he was attracted to the smell of her tears.
What ails you, fair maiden?
My mother hates me.
That is awesome. I mean, terrible. Come here. Come. Sit on my horse and tell me all about it. One thing, would you mind holding this bag open under your mouth while you speak?
Good Sister told the prince all about her mother and her sister and how she had to work all day and how much she hated it.
Oh, fair maiden, your story has moved me in ways I didn't think were possible. I've fallen in love with you. Please say that you'll marry me, and together we will fix the damage to the national economy that my gambling addiction has caused. 'Cause you see, I've been using tax money to fund my illegal underground bear fighting ring in the dungeons of the palace. That's why my father doesn't have enough money to build a new well in the village so that people don't have to walk for hours and hours into the middle of the woods where it's dangerous. There are bears there. It's why we don't have enough money for a public awareness campaign about the dangers of the rampant fairy problem. And it is rampant. I mean, they're fucking everywhere. I mean, you know. But together, you should also probably know that I'm a sociopath. Probably a sociopath. Jury's still out on that one, but I mean, come on! With a mustache like this, are you kidding me? I am totally a sociopath. Wow! Marrying you will solve all my problems! Yes! 1,000 times, yes!
A year later, Good Sister was dead. A bear had escaped from the dungeon and gone looking for the prince to get his revenge. Good Sister had thrown herself in front of the prince to protect him because she has a martyr complex, and so she died a martyr. The prince died shortly after of syphilis. Evil sister became bitter and cold and refused to speak to anyone because when she spoke, frogs and snakes came out of her mouth. And so the mother drove her out of the house, and evil sister died, alone and unloved, in the woods that winter. As for the mother, she died of thirst shortly after that because she had no idea where the well was, and she couldn't find it, and couldn't find anyone willing to help her because she was a terrible person. So she died, and as for the fairy lived happily ever after. So yeah, that's the story of Toads and Diamonds. I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed telling it. As it turned out, there were bears in it. Who knew? I didn't know. I didn't know when I was starting this story that there would be bears in it. If anyone has a story idea that they would like me to tell, post it in the comments. If anyone has title suggestions, post that in the comments. If anyone has anything nice to say, post it in the comments. I love nice things that are nice to say. So yep, that's all. So I guess it is time for the end.